Magna Loritz and their mother Turid return to the Norwegian town of Edda. The boys' father had died in Edda under mysterious circumstances when they were children, and they moved away. As they drive into Edda, their car is slowed down behind Wotan and his mobility scooter, who comes to a halt trying to turn right. Magni gets out to help Wotan, and he is approached by Wench. She tells Magni he is a good boy, looks up at him intensely, and blesses him by touching his forehead. A change flickers through his eyes. The brothers attend the local high school. Awkward Magni becomes friends with Green advocate Isolde, who blames local pollution on the Jutul family. He and Isolde hike up to the glacier, which she has monitored. Vidar parks on the mountain. He strips, stalks a reindeer, tears out its heart, and eats it. A text from Loritz sends Magni running swiftly down the mountain, but it turns out to be a false alarm. Magni watches, horrified, as Isolde paraglides into power lines and is killed. That night, a distraught Magna hurls his father's sledgehammer into a thunderstorm. It disappears into the clouds with a flash of lightning. Magna's hammer flies 1.5 kilometers, destroying Vidar's windshield. Turid recognizes it from news reports, blames Magni. Students mourn Isolde's death. Magna suspects it was no accident. Police report that Isolde was struck by lightning before hitting power lines. However, the lightning started an hour later. Wench tells Turid her son's heroic journey has started. Magni buys another sledgehammer and throws it 541 meters. Loritz scoffs when Magni brags of his hammer throws. Loritz wears his mother's stylish shirt to a school dance. Vidar and Rand discuss human flaws. Vidar admits he killed Isolde. He searches for her mobile. It has photos of Jutul Industries' illegal waste disposal. Strange things happen at the dance. Pajor puts on rock music in the old language, which affects the Jutuls. Rand is aroused, takes two schoolboys aside for sex. Pajor and Saxa dance strangely and are joined by Loritz. Loritz and Oscar watch Pajor urinate on Isolde's memorial. Oscar posts it on Instagram. Magni visits Eric. They share their grief. Vidar brutally beats Pajor as his urination was an insult to Vidar's work. Gray, who is staying overnight, sees Pajor's beating. The Seers return from Isolde's funeral to see their home was ransacked. Seer brothers confront the junkie who stole Loritz's headphones. Junkie's house was ransacked before he got there. Vidar's car was at the scene. Magni tells Sindra of his frustration with the police and about suspicions of Vidar's involvement. Sindra tells Ron, who delivers the news to Vidar. Eric gives Isolde's computer to Magnet. Fjord, Gray, Saxa, and Loritz go driving. A bird hits the windshield. It is still alive, but Saxa eats it. When Magni confronts Bjornholt about inconsistencies surrounding Isolde's death, she challenges his own story. He traveled a distance, which takes 90 minutes in an hour. She tells him not to question some things. Later, Magni runs and times himself, 100 meters in 7 seconds. Vidar kills the junkie and sees a snowplow collide into Magni. He tells the other Jutuls that Magni is dead and informs them not safe to have intimate relationships with humans. At school, Saxa is stunned to see Magnin unharmed. Magni and Loritz are invited to dine at Jutul's home, Jutulheim. Alcohol has no effect on Magni until they give him mead. Arm wrestling Ran, he sees her true form and loses. Magnus' reflection in the bathroom mirror shows a bearded, bloody warrior. Magni continues Isolde's work by investigating the Jutuls and their role in Edda's water pollution problems. He learns more about his own abilities while evading the increasingly suspicious Jutuls. Turid bonds with Eric. Eventually, they start a relationship. Both Magna and Fjord have a romantic interest in Gray. On a school camping trip into the mountains, Loritz tricks Magna into publicly confessing his love for Gray. She cares for Magni but does not love him, but instead chooses to go off with Pjor. After seeing Vidar cutting up raw reindeer meat, Magni realizes that it smells the same as the blood of Isolde's jacket at the time of her death. Magni deduces that Vidar was behind her death and warns Vidar that he will not get away with it. Vidar notices Magna's knife has the same marking as the hammer that destroyed his windshield. After Magni follows Pjor and Gray, Vidar sends Thrym, his hellhound, to kill Magni. Magna and Thrym struggle until Magni kills Thrym. When visiting the Jutul's home with Fjord, Gray notices something is wrong with the family. Century-old photos and older artwork depict all the Jutuls as physically unchanged from the past into the present. The Jutuls conspire to punish Magni because he killed Thrym, albeit in self-defense. When Magni proposes to write a critical assignment about Jutul Industries, He is confronted at a meeting attended by Ran, Sindra, Eric, and Turid. He is forced to return Isolde's laptop to Eric. Nevertheless, Eric privately hands over Isolde's mobile to Magni, which Eric had found on the mountain. Magna unlocks it and finds incriminating photos of Jutul Industries' water pollution. He goes up the mountain and discovers 2,500 barrels in a newly exposed cave, which have leached toxic heavy metal wastes, including cadmium, element 48, into Edda's water supply. Magna reports the existence of the barrels to the police. However, when police go to investigate, all the toxic barrels are gone. The police had felt obliged to pre-notify the Jutul Industries of their planned visit. Neither the police nor his high school's administration takes Magni's allegations seriously. Rand suspends Magna from school due to his disruptive behavior. Meanwhile, he is ordered to attend psychological evaluation and treatment. Gray continues her relationship with Fjord, even though she finds him odd, while his family increasingly puts pressure on him to break the relationship. A Jutul-appointed psychiatrist misdiagnoses Magni with schizophrenia. He refuses to take antipsychotics. Turid criticizes Magna's anti-Jutul behavior. Fjord displays feelings for Gray and tries to help her family. He informs Magna that the toxic barrels from Jutul Industries are due to be shipped away. Jutul's order Fjord to kill Gray with Saxa, threatening to do so herself. Early on Constitution Day, Magni leaves toxic barrels at the police station. Police belatedly begin an investigation despite Vidar's attempts to intimidate Ingvild. Magni leaves Edda's local celebrations to follow Fjord and Gray to an abandoned warehouse. Fjord starts to attack Gray, but Magni saves her. Vidar arrives, identifies Magni as Thor and attacks. Before they battle, Magni warns Fjord and Gray to flee. Magni is almost overcome by Vidar, but calls up lightning to direct a bolt at Vidar. Magni is hurt by the lightning, but survives. At the celebrations, Loritz, dressed as Ran, gives a pretentious speech in front of the whole town, sarcastically pointing out how, despite Norway being a democracy, no choice actually exists for common people, while Jutuls exploit them. Due to their powerful position, Jutuls are least affected by climate change. And that's it. Do mention your favorite moment and don't forget to like and subscribe.